So, those are some of the options beyond virtual analog style subtractive synthesis. There are other types of synthesis out there, but these are some of the key options to keep an eye on. A good thing to remember, though, is what you're choosing and why. You wouldn't dig a ditch with a chainsaw, and you wouldn't cut down a tree with a shovel. Both of these things are possible, but you're probably not using the right tool for the job, and good results can be hard to obtain. Likewise with synths, I know which instruments or types of instruments to draw inspiration from based on the sounds I want to create. If I want a big fat bass tone, I usually dial something up in a virtual analog. If I want screaming mechanical leads or percussive metallic basses, FM or additive has a lot to offer. For background noises, drones, pads, etc., wavetable and granular are excellent go-tos. That's not to suggest that these are the only uses for these instruments. Certainly, I've included some examples of their use in scenarios that are outside of the boxes that I just outlined. Creating warm analog style tones with an FM synth is certainly possible. It just may not be the easiest solution if that's what you're after, so the key is to learn your instruments and know when to go to each for specific sounds. This comes with practice and with experience. As a side note, it can be very easy to get caught up in new gear syndrome. Every manufacturer wants to make sure you believe that their new product is the biggest and best at everything, but don't always believe the hype. Make sure when you integrate something new into your setup that it either does something nothing else can do, or it implements a process you really like in a way that works for you. My personal checklist of desert island synths would probably have to include at least one solid virtual analog synth and one capable multi-operator FM synth. Both, or at the very least the virtual analog, should have a very flexible mod matrix, preferably with scaling and plenty of modulation on modulation possibilities. With these two synths, you'll have access to a huge amount of sound creation potential. Another absolute essential is obviously a very capable sampler. Ableton Sampler is great, but I really can't say enough good things about Alchemy. As far as sample-based synthesizers go, it's incredible. Granular and additive engines are certainly excellent additions to your arsenal for esoteric sound design, but, and this is just my opinion here, you wouldn't want to have a dedicated granular or additive synth as your primary sound source. If another instrument of yours can cover one of these bases, that's probably sufficient, as many modern synths offer multiple methods of synthesis, so there's a good chance you actually already have access to one or two of these methods of sound creation through something else. In spite of all this, don't be afraid of new methods of sound design. More often than not, manufacturers tailor the architecture of their instruments to fall in line with the general norms of a subtractive synthesizer's layout. So, assuming that you're comfortable with what we've covered, it'll be really hard for someone to throw a curveball at you.